Scraping Amazon data sounds complicated, right? But what if I told you it's actually as easy as connecting a few dots in make.com? That's right. No coding, no headaches, just results. Stick around and I'll show you step by step how to set this up in no time. So, first of all, thank you for coming back and a big welcome to all of the new subscribers joining us today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jake Dawson, and I'm here to bring you the latest in AI sales automation and workflow hacks in a way that's easy to understand and apply. And as always, remember that everything we cover here is to help you succeed. These are not just theories, but actionable strategies that you can use right now. Now, if you're new here or looking for more ways to level up, don't forget to check out the school community. It's linked below, and inside you'll find exclusive make.com templates, including the one that we're using today, that you can import directly and start using immediately. It's super easy. Just grab one of these templates, click on the three dots in make.com to import the blueprint, select the file, and hit save. Let's jump right in. So today, we're diving into something that might sound intimidating at first, but trust me, it's going to be a game changer for you. Scraping Amazon data might bring up images of long lines of code and technical headaches, but forget all that. I'm here to show you how simple it can actually be. In this video, we're going to scrape Amazon product data, things like titles, prices, ASINs, and stock status using make.com and Apify. And the best part, you don't need to know a single thing about coding to pull this off. Just follow along, and by the end, you'll be asking yourself, why didn't I start doing this sooner? All right, first things first, we're going to need some Amazon URLs to work with. These could be search results that list a bunch of products or curated collections of products. Basically, wherever the data you want is living on Amazon, grab those URLs. Once you've got a few in mind, pop open Google Sheets. Here is where we'll organize everything. Create a new spreadsheet and name it something simple like Amazon data. At the top, add a header called links for your URLs so everything stays clean and structured. Then paste those Amazon links into rows below. Done with that? Awesome. You've just completed the very first step. Now, let's talk about the second sheet, the one where all that juicy Amazon data is going to end up. In the same Google Sheets file, create another sheet and name it Scraped Data. Think of it as your results page, your treasure map, your victory dance spreadsheet. Okay, you get the point. Add columns for each type of data you want to scrape. Title, URL, price, ASIN, and stock. You can even add more fields later if you get ambitious, but for now, let's keep it simple. By setting it up early, you're making sure all your data lands exactly where it should and not in some jumbled mess. Now the fun part begins, setting up the workflow in make.com. Head over to your make.com dashboard and start a new scenario. Think of this as your automation canvas, where all the magic will happen. Click the big plus sign to add your first module. For this, we're going to search for Google Sheets and select the action called Search Rows. This will be our triggers. It's like the starting point for your automation. Choose the sheet with your Amazon URLs and set it to search for the rows with valid links. That's it for now. Super easy, right? Next up, let's talk about Apify, the real powerhouse behind this entire operation. If you've never used Apify before, don't worry. It's not some scary coding tool. In fact, think of it as your personal assistant that handles all the tough parts of scraping data for you. The best part, you don't even have to pay anything to get started. Head over to apify.com, create a free account, and you're already off to the races. They even throw in $5 worth of credits, which is more than enough to follow along with this tutorial without spending a single penny. Once you've signed up and logged in, you'll find yourself in the Apify dashboard. This is like the control center where all the magic happens. Now you'll want to look for a scraper called Amazon Scraper by Jung Lee. It's right there in the Apify store. Think of this tool as a super efficient shopping assistant. Instead of manually opening every Amazon product page, scrolling through details and copying them into a spreadsheet, this scraper does all of that for you in seconds. Pretty cool, right? Okay, here's what you do. Click on the scraper and you'll see an option to run it. Before you go all in, let's start with a quick test run to see how it works. Grab any Amazon product URL, paste it in as the input, and set it to scrape a maximum of 3 products for now. Why 3? Because we're just testing the waters and there's no need to go overboard just yet. Now hit run and watch the scraper do its thing. Within a few seconds, you'll see the results pop up: titles, prices, ASIN, stock statuses, and more. It's like having a treasure chest of product data handed to you on a silver platter. How awesome is that? Once you've confirmed the test works and you're seeing the data you want, we can integrate Apify into Make.com. This is where it all comes together. In Make.com, add a module and search for Apify. You'll see an option called Run an Actor. That's the one we need. Click on it, and now it's time to connect your Apify account to Make.com. Don't worry, it's super simple. You'll need something that's called an API token. This is basically a password that lets Make.com talk to Apify securely. To get it, head back to your Apify dashboard and go to Settings under the API and Integration sections. You'll see your token there. Copy it, head back to Make.com, and paste it in. Boom, you're connected. Now let's configure the Run an Actor module. First, you'll select the scraper we just tested, Amazon Scraper by Jung Lee. Then set the run mode to synchronously. What does that mean? It just ensures that Make.com waits for the scraper to finish its job before moving to the next step. This way, you don't end up with half-finished data or errors in your workflow. Trust me, this little setting makes a big difference. The last piece of the puzzle here is the input JSON. This might sound technical, but stick with me here. It's easier than it sounds. In Apify, go back to the scrapers page and switch to JSON input mode. This will show you the structure of the data the scraper needs, like URLs and other settings. Copy that JSON structure and paste it into the input field in Make.com. But wait, before you hit save, there's one more thing to do. In the JSON, you'll see a placeholder URL used for the test run. Replace that with dynamic URLs from your Google Sheet. This is where the magic happens. Now your scraper will pull in new links from your sheet every time it runs, making the entire process automatic. After the scraper runs and has done its job, the next step is to actually use the data it pulled in and make it work for us. This is where we take the raw output and turn it into something clean, organized, and actionable. First, we're going to add another Apify module to our Make.com workflow, specifically the Get Dataset Items module. This module is what grabs all the scraped data from Apify and pulls it into Make.com. Think of it like transferring groceries from the cart into your kitchen. It's not useful until you bring it to wherever it's needed. To set this up, you'll need to link it to the dataset ID that was generated during your Apify run. You can find this ID in your Apify dashboard under the results of your scraper. To organize the data inside Make.com, start by adding the Array Aggregator module to your workflow. This module is essential because it groups all the individual pieces of data into one structured package, making it much easier to manage later. In the settings, you'll need to define which fields from the JSON output of the previous module should be included. Look for fields like title and map them to represent product names, price for the product costs, ASIN for the unique Amazon product code, and stock to capture the availability status. Each field should be carefully mapped to ensure all the data aligns correctly. Next, you'll want to set up the Array Aggregator to process all the rows at once. This setting bundles all the data points together into a single array that can then be iterated over later. Make sure you select the correct source module where the JSON data is coming from, typically the Get Dataset Items module you configured earlier. After mapping all the fields and configuring the model, click OK to save your settings. To test it out, click the Run Once button in Make.com. This will execute the workflow up to this point and show you the aggregated array in the module's output. Review the output to make sure everything looks correct. All the product titles, prices, ASINs, and stock statuses should now be grouped together in one clean array. If something's missing or mismatched, go back and double check your mappings to fix any errors. Once you've aggregated all the data into an array, it's time to tackle each product individually. This is where the Iterator module comes in. And honestly, it's like the assembly line worker of your workflow. It takes one product at a time from the array and processes it. Add the Iterator module to your Make.com scenario and connect it to the Array Aggregator module you just set up. When configuring it, you'll need to point it to the group of products you created earlier. Basically, you're telling Make.com, hey, take these products one at a time and let's work some magic on each one of them. With the iterator in place, let's move on to the final piece of the puzzle, putting that data where it belongs. Add a new Google Sheets module with an add a row action. Think of this module as your delivery person, taking each product's details and dropping them neatly off into your spreadsheet. When setting this up, choose the Google Sheets file you created earlier and select the scraped data sheet. Now comes the fun part, mapping the data fields. For each column in your sheet, title, URL, price, ASIN, stock, match it to the corresponding field from the Iterator module. It's just like matching socks. Just find what goes where and you're good to go. Once the mapping is done, click the Run Once button in Make.com to test the whole setup. This is your moment of truth. Watch as the workflow kicks into action. It reads the URLs from your links sheet, scrapes the data from Amazon, processes each product through the iterator, and finally adds all the details to your scraped data sheet. It's like watching a Rube Goldberg machine, but way more practical. Now, open your Google Sheets and check out those results. If everything's working correctly, you should see rows of neatly organized data, titles in the title column, prices in the price column, and so on. If something looks off, like missing data or mismatched fields, don't panic. Just go back to your module settings, double check the mappings, and tweak them as needed. Once you've confirmed that everything is working perfectly, give yourself a pat on the back seriously. You just set up a fully automated system that scrapes Amazon data, processes it, and organizes it without breaking a sweat. Wow. And that's a wrap. You've just built an entire Amazon data scraping workflow using Make.com and Apify, and you didn't even have to touch a line of code. Pretty cool, right? Now you've got a fully automated system that pulls valuable product data, organizes it neatly in Google Sheets, and saves you hours, if not days, of manual effort. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps me out. And if you're not already subscribed, come on, what are you waiting for? Join the crew, hit that bell, and stay updated on all the latest automation hacks and productivity tips. Also, if you're actually serious about taking your automation game to the next level, check out our school community. It's linked below, and inside you'll find exclusive templates, resources, and a supportive group of like-minded people ready to help you out and ready to help you succeed. Plus, the exact template that we're using today, it's in there, so don't miss it. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Oh, and before you click away, here's a video you'll probably want to watch next. It's packed with even more tips to help you crush it with automation. I'll see you there.